Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. We're doing a quick update on the stratification of the Nordman fir seeds, very similarly to how you do it with the noble fir. So you see on my bag is marked here February 14th. This is when we had soaked the seeds the night before, put them in this bag. I put some moist towels in there, damp towels I should say, just to keep a little bit of moisture. And then we just put them in the refrigerator. It's April 11th now, so this is a little over 7 weeks that they've been in there. So and remember, these are seeds that are almost 10 years old, so the stratification rate the viability is going to be low, but we're going to get some. And also, as we look at these here, some of these are probably starting to sprout, but many of them will start later. They don't all start at once. So as I poured out a few of these, you could see here, for instance, this one has the root starting to come out and it's trying to grow. There's others, this one right here is also as well. These are the ones, this is the stage I really want to get them in because it's just barely growing out, so it hasn't grown down. Because if they're going to naturally grow down the root, so if they're sitting in the bag like this, it's going to turn this way, and then they will stand back up when you plant them. But if you get these in the ground before they stick out, and I just stick them in the ground this way, then they'll just lift right up nice and perfect. Okay, I made myself a box that is about 7 inches wide and about 40 inches long. So that's approximately 200, well, minus the wood, but that's about 270 square inches. And when we're planting these really small, I'm going to plant one about every inch. And so it'll fill up and grow in here. Now, a lot of places just sow these outside and then raise them for a year and then transplant them wider. I'm going to go ahead and do this in the box. I made the box this size because I'll be able to lift it up even when it's full of soil. I'm going to start it in the greenhouse here, and then I'm going to take it outside. I may even take the screws off after I bury this in the ground and just set it in the ground and bring soil up next to it. I don't know. I'm not saying this is the way you should do it. This is the way I'm experimenting with doing it, getting it started in the greenhouse, and then as it gets warmer, I'm probably going to bury this box outside where I have an automatic sprinkler to keep it going. And then typically, you can grow these really close, like I said, just an inch apart right now. But then typically on our nurseries, then they grow them out, take them out after the first year, spread them out to about 4 inches apart, and then let them grow another couple years till they get to a foot and a half tall. So this is where they're going to be the first year, and then we'll spread them out from there. This box is about 7 inches deep, so that's enough for first year roots and not having to go any deeper. Plus, when I transplant them, I don't want the roots any longer than 6 inches. So I'm just going to pour some of these out on a sheet of paper so they don't fall through the table here. Then I'm just going to start selecting ones that have some root showing and start placing them with the longer root like this one. I'm going to need to create a little bit of a hole to stick it in there so I don't break the root off. If it's a real short root and is not as brittle, then I'll just go ahead and press that down into the soil. This is an example of one that was laying like this, and so the root tried to go down. This one's going to have to figure it out. We'll have to give it a hole, but it'll have to figure out the right direction here on its own.
All varieties of Reese's peanut butter cups are gluten.
Here we have planted in our box approximately 238 seeds, Nordman fir seeds. The reason I don't have exact rows, but it's approximately 34 rows by 7, so that'd be 238. Some of you might be asking, why are you planting these inside in a box instead of in the ground? And to be honest, the number one reason is when I've planted these outside before, I didn't have the soil sterilized that well, and I had a lot of weeds coming up. And when these are these little tiny trees with little roots, are coming up and there's weeds there, it is, Nordman firs are only going to get a couple inches tall the first year anyway. And when you're trying to weed that out, you're pulling the tree out as much as you are the weeds. So by using potting soil here, I'm going to have a cleaner planting, and it's going to be up here around my waist, so when I do need to gently get through there and weed it, I'm going to be able to deal with it right here until the trees get a little bit more established and actually get some root in the ground and get a little bit stronger. When they go dormant this fall, I can actually do if there's weeds in here, I can actually do a spray over here that would kill the broadleaf and not the Nordmans. But that's part of the reason I'm planting them in the box here. We only got one of the 2 bags open, and we only used about half of that, and this other bag is still here, so I have a lot of seed left to plant. I would say we only did a third at most. We're probably going to end up with about 1,000 seeds that have germinated. I'm going to put them back in my cooler, keep them cold tonight. I'm going to probably have my horticulture class help me plant more, and then we'll leave some seeds in the cooler or in the refrigerator for another week or 2, and there will be even more seeds that will germinate and come up. But we're just planting them as we see life. And again, these are about 10-year-old seeds, so I'm really happy that we're getting quite a good percentage. Well, I wouldn't say a super high percentage, but at least a decent amount of trees germinating out of these seeds. Okay, there you have it. These seeds that were put in the refrigerator about 7 weeks ago, moisture to stratify them, put in the ground. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching and cleaning horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Be blessed, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.